the quest to become a champion. To be the one angler to best North Dakota's mighty Missouri River.
Big fish. Good one, too.
For an entire season, they have fought and struggled. Now, only one will write his name in the walleye fishing history as the 2009 Walmart FLW Walleye Tour champion.
Yes. Hey, Pepe, we'll see it the way in. Yes!
The beautiful North Dakota prairie, where two things take up most people's time: farming and fishing. The Missouri River, one of the most important waterways in North America, cuts through the heart of the state and has seen more than its share of historic events. Today, it will add yet another.
The championship is the championship, man. This is the big one.
I was really actually excited that I made the championship to begin with. That's a great accomplishment. Fishing against some of the greatest walleye anglers in the world.
The title is something that nobody can ever take away from you. It's something you have forever.
After 8 long months of highs and lows, victory and defeat, the 50 best walleye anglers in the world have one more mountain to climb. This is the 2009 Walmart FLW Walleye Tour Championship, presented by Berkley. Hi everybody, I'm Jason Harper, and welcome to Bismarck, North Dakota, the capital city here on the banks of the mighty Missouri River. The best walleye anglers in the world have all come here to battle the fish, the elements, and each other to see who is the best of the best in 2009. We started with 54 anglers just 2 days ago. Now we're down to the top 10 with only 2 days left to fish. And as you can tell, not the most ideal conditions here on the North Dakota prairie. We've got wind and rain and cold. All of these conditions are making it tough on the anglers and the fish. To find out exactly how tough it's going to be on our top 10, let's bring in FLW Outdoors Magazine contributing editor Dave Sanda, who's been down at the ramp this morning. How are things looking, Dave?
Hey, thanks, Jason. You know, I have an old buddy who used to say about conditions like this, I've seen it go for days and days and then all of a sudden get worse. I'll tell you what, it's nasty out here on Lake Oahe. The wind has been howling from all directions. We've had some rain. And just take a look at this dock down here. A couple of days ago, when the wind was coming up big time from the south, and the water was actually up to the top of that dock. It raised the level here in the river probably 2.5, 3.5 feet. And then the next day, the water all sucked out when the wind changed from the other direction. The water got real muddy. Things are changing drastically. Fish are on the move, makes for tough fishing conditions. But you know what? The fellow who reacts the best out there by following and catching active fish, he's going to walk home with a major paycheck.
All right, thanks a lot, Dave. Well, if you want to see the best be put against the absolute toughest conditions, we've come to the right place. No question, this is going to be a battle of wills on the Missouri River.
4 days ago, it was 82 degrees and no wind, and it was 44, raining and like 25-mile-an-hour winds today.
The river is ever changing every year, but never ever have I seen it go through the changes daily that we've had to deal with this year.
As the field gets ready for our third day of competition, let's take a quick look at the format, which is a little different than our normal Walleye Tour event. At the championship, we had a full field on the water for the first 2 days. Then we cut it down to the top 10 pros and top 10 co-anglers who will be out on the water today. This is a one-day shootout for the co-anglers where we'll crown a champion after day 3. And on day 4, it's the top 10 pros running solo. For the pros, it's the best weight over the last 2 days that'll take home the title. And here are the combatants and how they qualified over the first 2 days. And as you can see, Evinrude pro Todd Riley has been on a tear. He blew away the field on day 1 with the heaviest limit of the tournament so far, just over 23 pounds. But there is plenty of championship experience in this top 10. including our 2009 Land O'Lakes Angler of the Year, Chris Gilman, past professional walleye trail champions David Anderson and Ron Seelhoff, and the defending FLW Walleye Tour champion Tommy Scarless, who had the best limit on day 2, just over 16 pounds.
You know, when the river's changing, you have to deal with that ever-changing environment. And what's interesting about walleyes is when the water falls or drops, the walleyes will drop deeper. When the water raises, the walleyes will move up.
Oh, you got to roll your sleeves up. I mean, you're not just going out for a leisurely afternoon of fishing. I mean, it's work.
Everybody starts back at 0 this morning as our top 10 pro and co-angler teams blast into the cool prairie mist of the Missouri River. The Missouri River runs from western Montana all the way to the Mississippi in St. Louis, Missouri. But for our purposes, we're going to concentrate on about an 80-mile stretch from just north of Bismarck all the way down to the South Dakota state line. Our top qualifier, Todd Riley, he's been concentrating on a stretch a few miles north of the takeoff, and he already has one keeper in the live well.
I noticed early on that the water had been receding, and some of the shallow fish started going deeper. Some of the deep troughs and whatnot started piling up with fish, and that's where a lot of these good fish are coming from. You know, the day one, I had a 29 and a half and a 25 incher, and I got them out of just a deep trough, and I'm sure they weren't there prior, but they pulled in there, and there's still a lot of the fish that are being caught. That's where they're set up.
The Evinrude Pro is off to another fast start. Here's our defending champion, Tommy Scarless, and co-angler Chris Hansen, who's hooked up with a solid fish.
I won the championship last year jigging and lindy rigging, doing the same things that I'm doing this year. And what you got to look for right now is you have to find stuff that's off the main channel, stuff that has fresh water flowing out of like marshes, sloughs, bodies of water like that, and not main channel water that's got all the grass and the slime drawn off the banks. When you find that and you can keep your jigs and lindy rigs clean, that's when you can find the big fish and put together 5 good ones.
Sounds like a man with a plan, and he's off to a good start. But we have a long, long way to go and a lot of hook sets between now and the end of this thing. So don't go anywhere. The Walmart FLW Walleye Tour Championship, presented by Berkley, will be right back. FLW Outdoors is brought to you by Walmart. Save money, live better. BP, Beyond Petroleum. National Guard. Frable, trusted gear since 1938. Canon, leaders in controlled depth fishing. And by Yamaha Outboards. Reliability starts here. Welcome back, everyone, to the Missouri River and the 2009 Walmart FLW Walleye Tour Championship, presented by Berkley. Day 3 of our competition is well underway, and nets are flying all over the river. Our co-anglers will decide a champion today. For our top 10 pros, this is the first of a 2-day run for the title. We talked about the vast amount of championship experience in our top 10, but here's a guy with very little top 10 experience. Evinrude Pro Tony Renner, who's in.
You know, I'm looking for fish on the graph. You know, if those fish start moving out deep, I'll see it. And you know, the water's dropping, and it seems like the fish are holding on the current. Seems a lot of current, and so you got to read that current, and as you're doing that, you'll adjust either shallow or deeper. And the water is really dirty.
And like everybody in the field this week, was one of the most consistent through another challenging qualifying season on the Walmart FLW Walleye Tour. We kick things off in April on what is arguably the finest walleye fishery in the world, Giant Lake Erie, where veteran Pat Bile led a star-studded top 10 into the final day of action. And despite a strong charge from Ted Takasaki, Bile hung on for his first Walmart FLW Walleye Tour win. In May, the tour wound its way to Red Wing, Minnesota, and the mighty Mississippi River. A red-hot Ted Takasaki led the way on the final day, survived a hard-charging Brian Bjorkman, and followed a second in the season opener on Lake Erie with a win on the Mississippi. In June, our walleye caravan tackled one of Minnesota's most historic walleye fisheries, Massive Leech Lake. The old-school live bait riggers rose to the occasion, led on the final day by second-year pro Brian Brosdahl. But veteran Dan Steer had the hot hand on day 4 and came from behind for his first FLW win. In August, the qualifying season came to a close on the Wisconsin Walleye Factory known as Lake Winnebago. Veteran Evinrude pro Chris Hillman wrapped up the 2009 Land O'Lakes Angler of the Year title on his home water. But it was another veteran, Cabela's pro Kevin McCoy, who had come from behind with a big final day to win the regular season finale for 2009. Which is how we ended up right here on the Missouri River with the 2009 championship on the line. Back to the day 3 action now. Here's Evinrude pro Scott Steil.
Right here. There we go. That's a nice start to the day. Nice fat, 21-incher. That really solidified that those are the fish you're looking for in this system, the 20-inch fish. I mean, you can weigh 20-inch fish here, you're going to be fine.
Scott Steil is on the right fish at the right time. Let's check in with our Land O'Lakes Angler of the Year, Chris Hillman, fittingly paired with Co-Angler of the Year, Justin Steinke. Team Angler of the Year is close to a limit, but needs some bigger biters. Back now to Ranger Pro Tommy Scarless. Our defending champ is trying to stay in the running for a repeat, while our top qualifier, Todd Riley, already has a limit and is looking for upgrades. The weather is rough and the river is changing by the minute, but the walleyes are putting on a show as day 3 winds to a close. So don't go anywhere. We're going to crown a co-angler champ and have a final day run for the title right after this. Day 3 of the 2009 Walmart FLW Walleye Tour Championship presented by Berkley is winding to a close. And while everybody on the water is catching fish today, 2 teams in particular are making a lot of noise. One of them is Evinrude pro Scott Steil and his co-angler partner, Jerry Charute.
Another nice one. That upgrades our 15.5, and that's a serious upgrade right there.
Steil and Charute have a big limit, but so do Evinrude pro Tony Renner and co-angler Lowell Joy, who have 2 really big fish in the live well and need just 1 more for a huge day 3 limit. Tony Renner picked a great time for his first top 10, and he's making the most of it. It's time to head for the Bismarck Civic Center and find out where we stand. The walleye crazy fans of Bismarck, North Dakota are ready to weigh some fish and crown a co-angler champion. My co-host Charlie Evans is at the scale as Yamaha pro Bobby Crow and co-angler Troy Vanacek step up with a solid limit.
5 fish. Total weight. 15 pounds, 2 ounces, a new leader.
And it's a lead that's going to hold up for a while as the next 3 challengers come up short. But Evinrude pro Tony Renner and co-angler Lowell Joy climb to the stage with the heavy bag of fish.
Total weight. 24 pounds, 8 ounces, a new leader.
The biggest limit of the entire week, and it couldn't come at a better time for co-angler Lowell Joy. And despite a solid limit from Evinrude pro Scott Steil and co-angler Jerry Charute,
16 pounds, 8 ounces.
Joy and Renner's dream day on the Missouri River is more than enough to earn the 68-year-old veteran co-angler from Bemidji, Minnesota, the title of 2009 Walmart FLW Walleye Tour co-angler champion. A fantastic one-day shootout for our co-anglers with 9 out of 10 teams bringing 5 fish limits to the scale, and a deserving win for a lifelong walleye hunter from Minnesota. On the pro side, here's how things stack up with one day to go. Evinrude Pro Tony Renner is firmly in command of this championship, but an 8-pound lead is just one big bite on this fishery. And in an interesting twist, the guy right behind him happens to be his teammate, roommate, and good friend Scott Steil. It could make for an interesting evening around the hotel.
All right, here's the deal. I'm Scott Steil, that's Tony Renner, and we're teammates. I'm sitting in second, he's sitting in first. We're fishing the exact same spots with the exact same things, and I'm gonna have a hard time catching this guy for first place. But I couldn't be happier because that's my teammate Tony. He's catching the big fish, I'm catching lots of fish. We gotta change that around tomorrow. I got just a couple rods to tie up because basically we're trolling. As excited as I am to be in second, I'm even happier for Tony. You know, I mean, the guy's a great friend, he's a great angler, and he's been a partner for several years now. Well, I hope you tied all your knots tight, Tony. I'd hate to have you lose any of those big fish tomorrow and we sneak up on you.
You better hope I break 2 of them.
I believe this is Tony's first top 10, and I mean, I'm excited for him. That still doesn't mean I'm not going out there to win this tomorrow. They're guaranteed I'm going out there to win this tomorrow.
Folks, the table is set for a fantastic final day run for the biggest title in walleye fishing. And we're going to bring it all to you when the 2009 Walmart FLW Walleye Tour Championship, presented by Berkley, returns. A cool, dark, and misty morning on the Missouri River. And we've got 10 pros with just 8 hours of fishing time separating them from the most coveted title in professional walleye fishing, the 2009 Walmart FLW Walleye Tour Championship. Hi again, everyone. Jason Harper along with you, and here are your standings heading into the final day. Evinrude Pro Tony Renner has a commanding lead over his good friend and teammate Scott Steil. But today, things are going to be different as the pros go it alone.
You know, I put myself in a position to win, and that's what you dream of doing. You dream of having that day where you put yourself in position to win, and I've done that, and now I just got to go finish the job. And
if your first fish of the day is a 17.5-incher, then you got to those are tough decisions. Do I keep that fish? If you do, you're weighing it. It's one of the 5 you're weighing. So tough decisions to make. I mean, you certainly, it can make you a real hero by getting the fish in the right order.
The final day run for the title is underway on North Dakota's Missouri River, a body of water that's been kicking out big fish and big numbers all week.
Well, right now the best thing going in the Missouri River and Lake Oahe, basically from Garrison down to the South Dakota border, is the walleye population. The fishery right now is really dominated by these 17 to 22-inch walleye. But anglers this summer also seeing fair numbers of fish in that 25 to 28-inch range, and even a few larger ones. Some pretty good trophy potential out there in this fishery as well right now. Abundance has stayed relatively constant over the time, but the big turnaround we've seen over the last decade has been this enormous improvement in the link structure of these walleye. Like most walleye fisheries across the country, this one is driven a lot by weather patterns, and if you can get a few consecutive days of nice stable weather, the fishing really seems to respond to that. Given the diversity and habitat that we have out there, I mean, changes in weather pattern, anglers really need to be flexible, be ready to change their tactics as weather patterns dictate.
An amazing fishery and an outdoorsman's paradise on the North Dakota prairie. All right, let's get out to the final day action and our first look at Yamaha Pro Carl Adams Jr.
You know, I pull up and I was actually going to start down further and make my full run, but other boats pulled in right there, right as I was going to, and there's a couple guys already, and I thought, well, I can get far enough ahead of some of those guys that I won't be getting in their way. So I pull up in front of those other guys and drop the baits down, and I don't think I hadn't trolled 30 yards. I got a fish on right now, first fish of the morning, and it feels like it's a fair one, not a big one, but walleye, you can see it coming up, by about a 19-incher, hair bigger maybe even. Reach down and grab the net. Oh yeah, it's a little bigger than that. Good start to the morning. Oh, there we go. That's exactly what we were looking for right away in the morning. Couldn't have started with a better morning. Get it up, get it in the net. It's a good fish, the size I'm looking for. We'll measure it to see how long it is. 22 incher. 8:11. First fish in the box. Hopefully I'm done at 9 o'clock.
And it could happen that way. Remember, we have a no coal rule in effect here, so once these guys put number 5 in the box, they're done. Here's Cabela's pro, Dave Anderson, who already has one solid keeper in the live well this morning.
Yeah. There's one of the ones we're looking for right here, folks. One of the big girls. There we go. That's more like what we're looking for. About 22 inches. 4 more like that will go a long way.
If he keeps this up, it could be a short day for Anderson. Here's Evinrude pro Todd Riley, who was our top qualifier after the first 2 days of the tournament. He also has one fish in the box.
And as we continued up that trolling pass, I got up far enough to where I could see this little hole that gave me the big fish on the first day and decided I better go up and try it rather than go back and make another pass just in case there'd be some big fish in there. And the first pass through, this is what we came for. We hit a 21 incher. And I was like, well, that was pretty good. And that was a no-brainer for me at that point, as that's the kind of fish we're all out here trying to catch anyway. Fat as that is, easy 3.5.
He weighed 23 pounds off this spot on day 1. Can he do it again? Quickly, let's check in with Evinrude pro Scott Steil, who started the day in second.
My first fish came about 8:15 in the morning. It was my first trolling pass. I just set up, working the same line as I did yesterday, basically the steep bank side of the shore. I pulled in there, got the rod set out, and I mean, basically I'd gone about 100 feet and I hooked up with one fish. Got off. Had it on about 5 seconds. It felt like a nice fish. I mean, you know, you kind of get a feel for what a fish over 20 inches feels like in this current. And I had it on about 5 seconds. I lost it. So I adjusted my speed. I let the rod back, you know, pumped it a few more times. About 5 seconds later, I hit it again. Got him. Got one. Got another one here. Just lost that fish. Picked up another one. This is the hard part though. Ended up being about a 20.5-inch sauger. It was a really nice fish. It was over 20 inches. That's what I was looking for to start the day. And it gave me a lot of confidence that I was going to get a bid on that program. That makes the grade. That's a good start. That's a good start. They got to be 20 inchers, man. They got to be 20 inchers.
Scott needs a career day to catch it. And speaking of Renner, we haven't heard anything from our leader just yet. Is the magic gone? Stay tuned and we'll find out. Welcome back, everyone, to the final day of the 2009 Walmart FLW Walleye Tour Championship presented by Berkley. I'm Jason Harper, and here's how things are developing right now. Tony Renner is still in the lead, but a slow start means the gap is closing with Todd Riley and Dave Anderson making big early moves up the standings, as is the defending champion Tommy Scarless, who already has 2 fish in the live well.
The other thing that dictates walleye location in a river is current. You could have the right structure and no walleyes if the wrong current's there. So what I like to do is read the water, try to follow that seam or that current edge where you see the bubbles forming that dictates current and slack water. And a lot of times those walleyes will be right on the edge of there. That's the dinner line. They'll be ready for a fresh meal. Oh yeah. Well, that one was a little bit closer to 20 than the last one. And I tell you, this no-call stuff, it really works on a fella's mind.
Tommy's one of a kind, but he can catch fish with the best. And unlike most of the top 10, he's gone to the hand-to-hand combat of jigging and live bait rigging. That's how he won this title a year ago. And as Yamaha pro Bob Blosser explains, it's a great way to attack a river system.
Here we are on the Missouri River in Bismarck, North Dakota, and one of my favorite ways to catch fish on this river is trolling. When faced with conditions that don't allow you to, due to high water, high winds, a lot of weeds, things of that nature, you got to be able to adapt. And what we've done is we've adapted to one of the simplest ways of catching walleyes. We've gone to a plain split shot and a hook with a little piece of crawler. All right, so here's our basic setup. What we've got going is a plain hook, we've got a little glow bead up front of it, and we've got a split shot. What you got to keep in mind is the size split shot you're using. You want that split shot just to tick bottom as you're drifting with the current. You're going to turn the boat sideways and just drift with the current. Now the nice thing about using a split shot over a plain windy rig is your leader length is completely adjustable just by moving that split shot. Now there's two different ways we've been hooking our crawlers that's been working for us this week. The first way is a wacky style or a center hooking of the crawler. Now what that's going to give you is a couple dangling legs down there bouncing over these sand dunes and in the current. Seems like our larger fish have been coming on this presentation, but not as many. The second way is more of a traditional way. It's just a nose hook of the crawler and a pinch off right behind the collar. It doesn't get any simpler than that. Sometimes the simple things are golden, just like walleyes.
Walleye gold on the Missouri River. Good stuff, Bob. And remember, for more on all the tips and techniques you see on any of our FLW Outdoor shows, log on to FLWOutdoors.com. And while you're there, check out fantasyfishing.com, where you could win millions. Yamaha Pro Bobby Crow is also on the live bait program and is way up north, almost in the Bismarck city limits.
There's a good fish. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah, this is what we're looking for. Yeah, walleye. Oh yes! That's what we're looking for today.
It was nice fish, really great fish. I was hoping I could pull. You know, usually when you get those, that size of fish rolling, usually there's a couple more around there.
This is a good 21, 22 incher. You know, it's a nice fish. This is what we get a few more of these and that'll keep us up in the running and get us up there. You know, all the guys got to do is make a few mistakes and we'll be there. So
we're a couple of hours into this final day and we haven't heard a thing from our day 3 leader, Tony Renner, who is still waiting on his first bite.
Well, you know, there's a migration in the system, and then there's resident fish, and you know, I think we're fishing resident fish right now. We're just looking for current seams. We're looking for areas that are holding a lot of bait, and it's changing by the hour as we're fishing.
yes! That's how we needed to get started. It's a 20-inch fish. First fish of the day. It's about 20 after 10. We've got plenty of time. All we need is 4 more bites like that one and we'll have a shot at taking this home.
So the leader is finally on the board, but his good buddy Scott Steil is keeping the pressure on.
The fish weren't exactly where they were the day before. They had shifted out a little bit, so it took me a little longer to hook up with number 2. But when I did, I mean, I knew again, once again that thing hit on the way back. I could tell it was a nice big walleye fish. As I was working it in, I mean, I could just tell this was a good fish, and all I kept saying was stay on, and it did, but it came up behind the boat where you don't want to see him in that current, and I had to basically just ski it across the water and hope like heck I could get it in the net. Good fish right there, baby. And that was the right fish. I mean, those are the type I was looking for, and I was really excited to get that one. That's a nice fat fish right there. Nice fatty.
That's another beautiful fish for Steil, who's halfway to a big final day limit. And speaking of limits, Todd Riley already has 4 in the box. One more and he'll be done for the day.
Critical decision time now, and that was another 21 incher. So now at 10 o'clock with 5 fish in the boat, my day was over. 21 and a half inches. I mean, the fish that we're all trying to catch. Shame on me if I let this fish go. I've got my 5 fish, and I'll have to wait for the scales to see where it puts me.
Our first limit, and it's a heavy one, as Todd Riley takes over the lead, at least for the moment. But we've got a lot of time left, so don't go away. We're going down to the wire in the 2009 Walmart FLW Walleye Tour Championship presented by Berkley. We're in the home stretch of the 2009 Walmart FLW Walleye Tour Championship presented by Berkley. Veteran Evinrude Pro Todd Riley is already done for the day with a big 5-fish limit, while Day 3 leader Tony Renner just put his very first fish in the box.
Oh, big fish. Yes.
Another good fish. I'm sure this is a walleye.
Yes.
Woo.
Slow but sure, Renner is desperately trying to close the deal here.
Another 20 and a half inch fish. We're one step closer.
Quickly over to Dave Anderson, who needs just one more bite to fill out his final day limit.
Just got to have a little excitement with a few waves bouncing, you know. There he is. Man, oh man, oh man. Not many 20-plus inch fish have I caught pre-fishing. In the box it goes. There you have it. It's a good day. What can you say?
So Dave Anderson joins Todd Riley on the sideline with a solid final day limit. Here's Yamaha Pro Carl Adams Jr.
There we go. Good one too. It's not a pike, I think it's a good one. I think it's a walleye. Oh yeah. Really good one. Really good one. I'm gonna take the boat out of gear here.
Nice 21 incher, good and fat. Definitely a fish that I was looking for. That's the size of fish that I thought I needed to keep today.
Really disappointed now that I kept those other two. I knew it right after I did it. This one's a 21 incher.
He's not happy with every fish in the box, but he's just one shy of a limit and a big move up the final day leaderboard. Another guy making a final day run is defending champion Tommy Scarless.
I started out fishing the same areas that I'd fished last year where the river turned into a lake. But like I said, with the dirty water, with the conditions changing, it didn't favor the presentation I did. So being the old river rat I am, the last couple of days, I spent up in the river, found some spots, found some big fish spots. Fish, big fish.
Yes, 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 yes! Old school Lindy Fuzzy Grubhead. Got him on there. Got him in the boat, the biggest fish of the day, and this is number 5. Yes! Almost 22. Weren't exactly the big ones I was looking for, but I was looking for these, and that's 5. And I'll tell you what, I had some challenges today, but I'm at the FLW Championship, baby. I think I might be scratching at the good money in the top 5. That's what I'm hoping for. See, Pepe, we'll see you at the weigh-in. Yes! Woo!
Another final day limit in the books, and Tony Renner, who's not too far from scarless right now, has got to be aware of what's going on around him, and he's only got 2.
Not a very big one, but I'll take it. Nice fat fish. 16 inches. I gotta keep it.
He's got to try and protect that lead, so Renner keeps a small fish. But dealing with small fish has not been a problem for Scott Steil on this final day.
Fish. I could tell this was the right bite. I mean, you know, we always talk about getting a kicker fish, and I thought with my second fish I'd had my kicker fish for the day, but number 3 felt huge. Just taking it real slow here. It's so hard to say what these are as far as size when you got to do this all yourself. You know, I worked it up to the boat, it kind of stayed down, came up right behind the boat, and like, shook its head once, and I was able to get the net on it. Oh my God. Seriously. For everything to go right in a day like this, that basically, it all came together. I knew I had a really good chance to win this. That is an absolute toad. Absolute toad.
Wow, the tables have turned from day 3 to day 4 for the Steil Renner team. Scott Steil has a big box of fish.
25 and a half.
But Tony Renner isn't done yet.
Oh man.
One more fish and we're sitting pretty good here, I think.
But time is running out for the day 3 leader, so he needs just one more bite for a final day limit. Will he find it? We'll find out right after this. FLW Outdoors is brought to you by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. Evinrude E-Tech. With 3 years, no maintenance, spend more time on the water. Berkeley, catch more fish. Febreze, it's a breath of fresh air. Castrol, maximum sludge protection for maximum performance. And by Chevy, the official ride of FLW Outdoors. Welcome back to the 2009 Walmart FLW Walleye Tour Championship presented by Berkeley from beautiful Bismarck, North Dakota. The capital city of the banks of the Missouri River is truly an outdoorsman paradise and is easily one of the finest tournament hosts we work with. A very special thanks to everyone who helped make this event possible. When we left the river, we were right in the middle of a final day duel between good friends Scott Steil, who had the big fish dialed in today, and Tony Renner, who started the day with an 8-pound lead but was still on the hunt for his final keeper.
I did absolutely everything I could to put a big limit together. I was fortunate the 5 bites I got to the boat were all nice fish. Did everything I can. I got a great weight. I don't know if it's going to be enough to catch Tony. I mean, 8.5 pounds to make up in a 5-fish tournament it's going to be tough. But I'm just excited with the fish I got. I gave myself a chance.
The Bismarck Civic Center is buzzing as Charlie Evans gets the final day weigh-in underway. Our first 3 pros, Nick Schertz, Chris Gilman, and Ron Seelhoff, all come up short. But the defending FLW Walleye Tour champion, Tommy Scarless, carries a solid limit to the scale.
He's got the limit. He needs 12 pounds, 13 ounces to be our new leader. He's got 5 walleye. They weigh a total of 15 pounds, 11 ounces, your new leader, Tommy Scarless, 27.7.
The 2008 champ sets the new mark to beat, but it won't last long as Evinrude pro Todd Riley steps to the scale.
He's got 5. Total weight, 17 pounds, 2 ounces, your new leader, Todd Riley.
But Riley won't enjoy the spotlight long either, as Carl Adams Jr. takes the stage.
He needs 14 pounds and 8 ounces to take over the lead from Todd Riley. He's got 5. Total weight, 15 pounds, 1 ounce, your new leader, Carl Adams.
David Anderson is next. Can he keep the string of new leaders going?
You have 5. Total weight, 15 pounds, 15 ounces, 30 pounds, 7 ounces, a new leader.
What a final day shootout. Anderson survives one challenge from Yamaha Pro Bobby Crow, but can he survive Evinrude Pro Scott Steil? This was a near perfect final day for Scott, with big fish after big fish all day long. But were they big enough?
Still may have one more. Needs, make sure I got this right, 13, 15. I think we may have that under control. The question is, have you got enough? He's got 5. And the weight, 21 pounds, 4 ounces, 37.12, your new leader.
Scott Steil vaults into the lead with a huge final day limit. And only his good friend and day 3 leader, Tony Renner, is left. The question is, did he ever find that final fish?
One more, 3 pounds and 2 ounces.
That's all I got.
He only has 4. Total weight, 10 pounds, 3 ounces, 34.11. Tony finishes in second place.
What a final day duel between these 2 great pros as Scott Steil comes from 8 pounds back to claim the title of 2009 Walmart FLW Walleye Tour champion.
This is the big one. I mean, I can't be more happier. It all hasn't really even set in. I went out in second place with a mountain to climb, and it just feels great to come out on top here.
The FLW Walleye pros never disappoint, and this championship was no different. An incredible finish to an incredible tournament. And for Scott Steil, this win came down to one very simple thing: confidence.
Well, I really found my confidence in this tournament by the size of the fish we were catching and the amount of fish we were catching. And I had a program not only that would work based on cloudy, windy, nasty days like we had, but also clear and sunny days, and I would make those adjustments based on the current and the weather conditions. And when I executed that plan on day 1, I felt like I really had something dialed in.
Congratulations, Scott, on an incredible victory on the Missouri River. Truly a deserving Walmart FLW Walleye Tour champion for 2009. Remember, folks, for all the details on this or any FLW Outdoors event, log on to FLWOutdoors.com. And don't forget, while you're there, check out fantasyfishing.com, where you could take home millions. Another thrilling FLW Walleye Tour season is in the books, and it wraps up in incredible style, with Scott Steil holding the championship trophy in Bismarck. So for Charlie Evans and our entire FLW Outdoors crew, I'm Jason Harper. We'll see you next time.